did say Sunday we were going to do a very specific type of stream. We're going to do some movement scaling and stuff along those lines. So let's get to work on that. All right. Let me... All right, put our support link in the chat and we should be good to go. Yep, that is good, and we're good. All right, let's move it. Let's get it going. All right, tonight's gonna be a little different. I'm gonna do some setup work here, and then we're gonna jump in it. It's gonna be dumbbells only, or I might do kettlebells. I haven't decided if we're doing kettlebell or dumbbell actually, but limited equipment essentially. Limited equipment. We might go dumbbells. Dumbbells sound like something people are gonna have more often than not. So. All right, now that we're set up, let me grab some of the equipment we're gonna need for tonight. I'm gonna grab us a couple of dumbbells. I'll be right back. Couple of 20s, guys, couple of 20s. Just make life easy. So we're gonna have some scaled movement here. You grab us a bench. Welcome. Sunday stream. Normally a rest day for me, but I had a special request from a few people actually on some beginner movements for upper and lower body. So we're gonna do 3 movements for the lower body and 3 movements for the upper body that just about anybody can do. So, hey, how's it going? Hey, tonight's stream's a little different, just so y'all know. We're just doing kind of like an educational stream tonight. I'm going to give y'all some movements that are real simple, real easy, things that can help you progress when you're a beginner. So, welcome. All right, we're going to be kicking off with just a couple of leg movements tonight. We're going to do some dumbbell only movements, so limited equipment. How do you make live? So YouTube has an option for the live, but I'm going to jump into these movements because I've got a short time tonight. We've only got about a half hour to get this done, so we're going to talk about these movements, guys. So all we're going to need tonight for the movements I'm going to be teaching you guys is 2 dumbbells, right? Some of these won't even require both dumbbells, right? So starting off with 2 dumbbells, we're going to start with a simple movement. First movement we're going to start with is a dumbbell front rack squat. So the ideal way to do this is to put the dumbbells balanced on either shoulder with it resting on the shoulder blade itself, pointing straight out. Feet are going to be about shoulder width apart. And then we're going to start that squat movement. I recommend putting something behind you that you can squat to if you're new to this. That way you can take a rest at the bottom of the movement. Okay? Squat. As soon as you come down to that level with the bench, you can either rest at the bottom before the standing movement if you're not prepared, or you can go straight back up. It's a good way to scale this movement. Dumbbells are just resting on the shoulder and being supported by the hand. The nice thing about this movement is if you don't have a dumbbell available, you can use just about anything you want for added weight, or if you're not comfortable adding weight, you can do this just with body weight movement, okay? So that's completely up to you how you want to scale that movement. So it's a great beginner workout, and it's an easy workout to scale. It's an easy workout to scale. Now, a way we can scale that up now, right? So we can scale that up by either increasing the weight of the dumbbell, or we can actually move into a split position here and focus in on one leg at a time. So a split position, squatting straight down, bringing the knee towards the ground, and pressing it straight back up. Definitely a more difficult movement. So make sure you're comfortable with that first movement before moving on to these. And I'm going to show you one more lower body movement with the dumbbells, and then I'm going to show you 3 upper body movements with the dumbbells. Okay? How we doing? I'm going to check chat real quick. So, as far as it doesn't look like it's working muscles, there's not, short of me like taking my pants and rolling them up, I can't really show you that quad activation, but I assure you it's definitely working quads and glutes. All right, so another muscle group in our lower body we're going to focus in on is our calf, right? Very important muscle, does a lot of things for us. Not a hard muscle to target if you know what you're doing. Take your dumbbells, you're going to hang them on either side. We're going to go up on our toe, lower our heel from that position, and just before it touches the ground, we're going to press back up on the toe. And we're going to pulse that movement. Pulsing that movement, you should start to feel that flex, feel that strain in the calf, okay? We're just using these dumbbells to add weight. If we want to scale this movement, we're going to need something to stand on, right? So in order to scale this movement, find ourselves, you can use a piece of wood, you can use a door, the edge of a front door, something like that, something where you can get your feet up a little bit higher. It's like a little door frame. There's a lot of ways to make this work without extra equipment. And then what we're going to do to scale this movement is we're going to start at a higher position and allow our heels to go even lower, right? So, or you can add weight, completely up to you. So just the front of our feet and our toes on that, press all the way in the air, nice slow descent till we get just below on the heel, and then press straight back up. It's going to allow us to get a little bit more depth at the bottom there. All right? That's going to target our calf. So let's go through those 3 movements again. So front rack, dumbbell squat to a bench, a chair, a box, whatever you have available. You don't have to have weight for this movement if you're not comfortable. It's going to work our glutes, our quads, calves. It's going to work just about everything in your lower body, right? Even your core to some extent. Very little, but core to some extent. All right? And then dumbbell with a split position here. One leg back, knee towards the ground. Doesn't have to touch. In fact, we don't want to bang our knee into the ground. It's not going to feel good, okay? Make sure we're working both sides evenly, okay? Sets and reps are your choice. It's whatever you feel comfortable doing. All right, let's check your chat. All right, and then the third lower body movement. Feet up on the board, on the box, whatever you have as an implement. Press the heel into the air. Ooh, we moved a little forward there, sorry. Heel into the air, down nice and low. Drop the heel down low below the edge, and then back up on the toe, working the calf. So working right along here. You can do this from the ground as well, like I said. Makes it a little bit easier. All right? We're going to do 3 upper body movements now. So those 3 movements are great for beginners to start working the quads, start working the glutes, start working the calves, right? All of these muscles we want to focus in on here in the lower body, or at least your major muscle groups. Nothing intricate, just your bigger muscles that everybody knows. All right, so tonight it's going to be all dumbbells. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to do it from a bench, but you can do it from a floor, you can do it from a bed, whatever you have if you're not working out at a gym to lay back on, right? So, dumbbells, very versatile. We're going to have just a few movements to do here, okay? First one being a dumbbell curl, right? Nice and easy movement. We actually have a few different ones we can do. Dumbbell curls come in a couple different variations. Your standard curl, hammer curl. Got a couple different ways you can do these, but we want to work other muscle groups too. I recommend starting off with either a standard curl or hammer curl. Get the biceps moving. Few sets of those, okay? Then we can move into a chest press with our dumbbell. If you're not comfortable doing this, you can start with push-ups and work up to it. This is a great way for beginners to start working on developing the chest. All right? Laying back on your bench, your bed, whatever you have to lay on that's stable. I recommend having someone keep an eye on you if you can, for the first few at least. Dumbbells are going to come out just outside the pectoral, up to the center. They don't have to touch. You want to bring them nice and close. Back down. Couple key things. Try not to flare your elbows really far. Try and keep them nice and tight against the body. Up into the center, back down, and repeat. We're going to be doing this for sets, okay? Doesn't have to be super heavy if you're a beginner. We want to work on that muscle group before we start getting heavier and heavier, all right? All right, and then when we want to stop this movement, this is a very important part. I get to my last rep. It's very, very easy to mess this up. We want to move the weights forward and drop them down, okay? Forward, drop them down. What we don't want to do is we don't want to try and drop them to the side or behind us. You're going to end up extending that shoulder awkwardly, and you can end up tearing it. We don't want to do that. It's a bad idea. Be very careful with these movements, okay? Very easy to cause injury if you're not careful. How's it going, everybody? How's it going? All right, so we got our curls and our chest press, but we still want to target in on the triceps, maybe a little bit on the shoulders. So we're going to do an overhead press with them next, right? So this is something I've done on stream during the actual workout streams. Something you guys will be familiar with. So a few different ways we can do these. We can either kick the weights up, or we can stand up and kind of curl them to our shoulder, right? If you're a beginner, get something that you're comfortable curling to your shoulder. That way you know you'll be comfortable or should be comfortable putting it overhead. Because if it's difficult to get to here, it's going to be difficult to get to here, right? We're going to do this from a seated position on a bench. So we're going to curl these up to our shoulders. The goal here is we're going to start at chin level. We're going to press straight up, bring them nice and center, bring them back until we hit just under 90, and press straight back up, okay? Targeting our shoulders here and our triceps. Now, let's say we get to here and we start to have some trouble with the movement, right? We don't get it all the way up. They start to go too far back. We bring them back down to our shoulder. We can rest them on our shoulder if we're able to get in this position carefully, or if we're able to get in this position. It's the best way to start to descend it, because then we can just roll them back down. Now, let's say we don't have that opportunity. The thing about dumbbells is I'd rather drop them on the floor than drop them on my head, right? So what I'm going to do is, if my right arm starts acting up, starts going out, I'm going to get rid of the dumbbell. The floor will be fine. I don't want to crack myself in the head. How we doing? How we doing? How's it going, DJ? Yeah, we talked about it. I will make it public as soon as we're done. All right, let's talk about core next. How do we do core with just the dumbbell, right? So this is all about dumbbells today. So we're going to take this dumbbell. Let me adjust the camera here a little bit. Let me see if I can get y'all in a better position for core. Hold on one second. I'm still going to use my bench, but you guys can do it from the floor. All right? You know what? I'll do it from the floor. Let me get a mat out. I think it'll be a little bit better if you guys see it from a floor, how it's supposed to be done. Give me 1 second. All right. Mat on the floor. I'm going to get y'all a better angle. All right. Boom. Just like that, we're on the floor. All right. So, let's get a couple of core movements in here, guys. So, dumbbell only. Some of these are going to be without the dumbbell. But for this first one, we're going to take our dumbbell and we're going to cross our feet right here at the bottom. Take our dumbbell and we're going to go left and right, right? So we're going to take it, we're going to do a Russian twist. You can also hold the dumbbell like this. I recommend holding it on either end. Twist left, full torso rotation. It's important. Our entire torso rotates, right? Twist right, twist left, twist right, twist left, twist right. If we're not getting that full rotation, we're not going to get the full work in our abdomen where we're trying to get it, okay? We're going to end up missing key muscles. Whew. Yep. I appreciate anybody that likes the video. It's super helpful. All right, another movement we can do here. We're going to take this dumbbell. We're going to put it by our feet, okay? We're going to use this not as added weight, but as a thing we can use as kind of like a key to where our feet need to be, okay? So, going to take our feet, one side of the dumbbell, hands behind the small of the back here, right? So, feet up and over the bell. So we're going to take our feet, keep our shoulders up, but in a leaning position. Feet over the bell, nice and high. Before they touch the floor, we go back the opposite direction, bringing our shoulders and our legs, or sorry, shoulders up and our legs up at the same time. Crunching our abdomen together, right? Up and over, up and over. Full activation. You're also going to feel this in your hip. So hip and core. That's our target here. Hip and core. Feet up and over the bell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just like that, okay? Make sure we're getting them even on either side. Next movement with our bell. So the next movement with our bell, make sure we get a good angle here. Should be good. All right. We're going to be doing a little bit more advanced movement here because we're going to be adding weight to a crunch. Not a sit-up, but a crunch, right? So we're just going to get our shoulders off the floor, okay? And we're going to bring our knees and our legs together. Dumbbell crunch. Just like that. We don't have to fully sit up. And if we're not comfortable going that high, we can just do the shoulders and the abdomen activated, right? Until we're comfortable going to a full crunch and then a full sit-up. Kind of pace those, however's comfortable. Okay, not everybody's going to be doing full push-ups, full pull-ups, full sit-ups right away, right? So those are good ways to start that movement from your quarter crunch or your half crunch to your full crunch to your full sit-up. Okay, once we can do these comfortably for sets, then we start doing the halves for sets. Then we can start doing our fulls for sets. Okay, then we can start adding weight. How's it going, Eli? There's no one next to me. There's no one next to me. I'm the only one in the gym. I assure you I'm the only one in the gym right now. Alrighty, so we're going to go over those movements again, just so you guys can see them all. Those of you that weren't here earlier, dumbbell, Russian twist, full twist left, full twist right. Repeat, full torso rotation. Feet over the bell. Over, over, using your hands to support. Over, over. All right? And then dumbbell is optional on the chest. Remember, quarter crunch, half crunch, full sit-up, whatever you're most comfortable with, okay? Doing those for sets. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully something you can take care of. You just got to get locked in, guns. You just get it locked in. So this is a beginner's workout. These are all beginner movements. So one movement you're not going to want to neglect when it comes to core is your plank, right? It's going to help build core stability, core endurance. It's going to help really build up the endurance in the core. That's the word I'm looking for, endurance in the core. So you're going to be able to keep that core nice and tight through the whole movement, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go from a forearm plank, forearms down. Then we're going to bring our glutes up. We want to be straight back, right? We don't want to be elevated. Now, let's say we're not able to maintain this position here. We can bring our knees to ground, walk them out nice and far, and hold from that position with our feet up, right? That is the alternate to this to make this just ever so slightly easier. We don't want to make it easier by elevating our glute because we're not holding tension in our core. So from this position, we can still hold tension in our core while making it easier. Then we go to a full foot, full straight leg, full straight back, and then we can start adding new movements to it to make it more difficult after the plank has become a little bit too easy or has become something we're very good at doing at least. So next movement we can do core plank, right? And we can actually, let me get you a better angle, bring our knee up to the sides of the body. Just like that. Working the sides of the abdomen. Working the sides of the abdomen. Then we can actually go into a full push-up position, both hands down flat, okay? And then we bring our knees under the body towards the elbows, right? Twist towards the elbow. Twist towards the elbow. Looks like this in full practice, okay? That's how we're going to scale our plank from a kneeling plank if we're not comfortable with the full, keeping our back straight, just like that, to a full plank, and of course, to your mountain climbers, which I was just demonstrating, knee under body, okay? Going to work the full abdomen here. Yeah, planks are tough. Planks are tough. Nice, nice, Kinsley. Alrighty. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk you guys through some of the common machines that you're going to see in about every gym you walk into, okay? So these machines are going to be your upper body and lower body machines and how to operate them and what they're doing. So give me just a second. These are machines you'll see at your local gyms usually, your Planet Fitnesses, any of those types of places. All right, we're going to start off with leg machines. So, when it comes to machines, not all are created equal. All right. So, this machine here, okay, you're going to see it in almost every commercial gym you walk into. So, every commercial gym you walk into, you're going to see a machine that kind of looks like this in some form or fashion. This one happens to do both movements that this machine is good for in one. So these rotate in and out. You're going to have two spots for your feet here at the bottom. Okay? We're going to put our legs on the outside of these two pads. Handle is going to go up, walk it out. So this machine is going to help with hip abduction and adduction. We're working the interior of the hip and the exterior of the hip, okay? It is a group of muscles, your glutes, your hip abductor group. It's a group of muscles. Your abductors are a group of muscles. That's not a muscle by itself. But it's working all those muscles that tend to get asleep or not work real well when we sit a lot, all right? And we're going to squeeze this movement. So we're squeezing the hips together and letting it back out nice and slow, all right? Try not to assist yourself with this. Adjust the weight as needed. We don't want to use our hands to push this movement at all. We want just our legs to be doing it, okay? So I can feel that really good on the interior of the hip here. Now I want to work the outside. Like I said, these are commonly found machines I'm going to be working with here. We're going to work with 3 different leg machines, 3 different upper body machines tonight. So we're going to walk these in, lock it in place. These are going to go on the outside of the leg. Sometimes this machine will be split into 2 machines. You'll find one that does the inside and one that does the outside, right? So same idea, except we're separating at the hip now, right? We're pushing out. You're going to feel this one more in your glute, less in the hip, okay? Feel the top of the hip a little bit, but this is going to be more of a glute-centric item here, okay? These are very neglected and they're ignored a lot of the time because they look silly, but they're important. They'll help you grow bigger legs, stronger hips, right? They're going to help us maintain as we get stronger. Does work the glutes. Does work the glutes. You can improvise with the band. I'll show you guys how to do that real quick. So, I'll be right back with the band. All right, we got us a band. We're going to take this band and we're going to wrap it right above our knee. Now, you can use a cloth band. This one's a cloth stretch band. Or you can use one of the rubber resistance bands, whatever band you have on hand. Let me cut this light on. All right, so what we're going to do is whether it's our rubber band, our cloth band, doesn't matter. We're going to take it. I recommend the cloth. They feel a lot better. They don't pull hairs on your legs. That might not be a problem for everybody, but it's a problem for me. We're going to wrap this band above the knee. So my knee's here. I'm going to wrap the band above the knee, right? And what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to give you guys a good full wide angle. Not the light, not the light. All right, we're going to squat down. And we're going to take a wide side step, okay? These are tough. They don't look bad, but they're tough to do. Let me get you a little bit of a better angle here, okay? So, nice wide step, in. Wide step, in. Wide step, in. We want to get as wide as we can on each step, okay? As wide as we can on each step. You're going to feel these almost immediately in your glute and your hips. They are extremely powerful movement. They're extremely useful, and they will wear out your glutes. We can also use this band for a lot of other things, but this is one of the top movements I use these bands for, okay? They're tough too, so pace yourself, pace yourself. Alrighty, because they don't look bad, but they hurt. Rubber bands are very uncomfortable. They work extremely well. All right, let's move back onto our machines. Tonight is a learning night for everybody. So if you have a movement you're interested in learning more about, let me know. So as far as lowering the band of the waist, so you can squat more, you'll get a better glute workout, more glute work out of it from stabilizing the glute a little bit more. Or if you drop the band, I don't recommend it. You're not going to get as much resistance. I find it better to have it above the knee than lower. So, all right, so this machine you will find in every gym, I'd say almost any gym. I've never seen a gym that doesn't have a version of a leg extension, okay? It is a fan favorite. Everybody likes to use them and hates to use them. So, set a little bit of weight so it looks realistic here. So, keys to this machine, right? So, traditionally, we're going to lay straight back. Shoulders and the low back should be touching the machine. You're either going to have some kind of handles on the side, or you can keep your hands up here if you don't have access to one with handles. And we're going to press our legs straight out. Now, a couple of key items here. My leg, I want the joint here, so the corner in my foot, where my foot meets the bottom of my leg, right? I want that to be what touches the pad. This pad should be supported by the shin, but in the cup of the foot, right? We don't want it super far up the shin, and we don't want it sitting on top of the foot. We want to feel all of that work here in our quad, okay? Feel all that work in our quad. So I like to lean ever so slightly forward here. I feel like I get a better extension on the leg, but you can lay straight back for it. I like to lean forward, engage my core, press straight out. Straight out. And we're going till we hit 90 degrees. We don't need to kick the weight up in the air or anything like that. You need to go straight out and back down. If we want to ramp this movement up, for some reason you're blowing this machine out of the water, you're maxing out the block, you can swap to single leg, right? So take one leg out, extend out the other leg, and do that for sets, still maintaining a flat back on the machine, okay? That's how you can amp it if for some reason you outpace or outclass this machine at some point, okay? All right, or you can do time under tension. Don't feel like you're getting enough work, but don't feel comfortable adding more weight. Start with a slow up with a count of 3. So 1, 2, 3. Slow down. 1, 2, 3, right? Trying to finish the movement within those amounts of time. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Keeping that tension. You can go for longer tensions, whatever's comfortable. Now, mind you, those are going to wear your quads out a lot faster, whatever muscle group you're working at the time on whatever machine. This, pretty much everything I'm doing here for beginners, I recommend keeping yourself between sets of like 5 to 10. Find what's comfortable, okay? We're trying to build muscle, so try not to go too far over 10. We don't want to wear them out to the point where we're not able to do a heavier set, right? It's also going to help you burn a lot of calories moving that additional weight. If you do feel comfortable for an extra few reps, feel free to get them. I don't recommend strictly training to failure. We want to be able to do other machines, other movements. So, all right, we're going to move on to the other. I do compete. All right, we're going to move on to the other mainstay of pretty much any gym, right? You're going to find it everywhere and anywhere. I got to move something real quick. I wonder if I can just scoot this machine. Yeah. We're just gonna move this machine out of our way first, guys, and then we'll make space. All right. Yeah. All right. Machine's a lot lighter than it looks, guys. All right. Machine's out of the way. Yeah, we're doing leg press next. We're gonna do leg press. Do 15 burpees. So that's not tonight's stream. Tonight we're not doing my workout. We're doing demonstrations, if that makes sense. Demonstrations. Hold on, I'm coming back over there. Just do curls with the machine? There's probably a machine here somewhere I can do curls with, I'm sure. All right, so a couple of key items here. It might be difficult to get a good angle because there's not as much space here, guys. I apologize. All right, so with the leg press, common mistakes, right? So we want to make sure we're getting about just under or right at 90 degrees here. For beginners, of course, there's adjustments you can make if you're more advanced, but 90 degrees here, touching the abdomen or just before it touches the abdomen, your quads right here, okay? Make sure We are keeping a flat back position on this machine. We do not want our glutes going forward. We're gonna put a lot of pressure on our tailbone here and our low back. Leg presses tend to have a lot of weight on them. Be careful, okay? Another thing not to do, please, I see it all the time. Do not lock your knees back. Do not lock your knees back. Keep a small bend at the apex of the movement, right? All the way back. Keep that small bend, because what we're doing is we're locking back a joint. We're letting all that weight push back on that knee joint, okay? It might not hurt the first time you do it, but after doing it 5, 10, 20 times, it's gonna hurt. It's not gonna feel good. And we're gonna repeat this movement, like I said, 5 to 10 reps, whatever's comfortable for you. Depends on the endurance of the muscle group you're working for you personally, okay? 5 to 10 reps for sets. Increase the weight each set if it's comfortable. If we're not comfortable doing more than 5 reps, maybe we decrease the weight and we work, a little bit less weight for 5 reps until we get used to these movements. Then we can start making adjustments like heavier weight, shorter sets, things along those lines. So remember, no locking the knee out and keeping that flat back position are your 2 biggest items here. And those are your 2 biggest mistakes and 2 of your biggest injury items on a leg press. Locking the knees out, knee goes opposite direction, you no longer have kneecaps, right? Move our back too far forward, now we got a pain in our low back for no reason. There's no reason for it. You might move a couple extra pounds, but now I've got back pain. We don't want that. What's going on here? What's going on here? Whew. No injuries, no injuries. What else we got going on? How's it going? How's it going? We're going to move to upper body machines now, guys. So we're going to work 3 upper body machines here. They're going to be common items in your gyms. Super common machines, actually. So not always. So high reps can be useful it depends on what you're trying to do. If we're trying to lose weight, there might be a reason to go higher reps. That's where your 10 sets are going to come in handy, right? And if we are trying to put on more muscle, heavier sets with less reps are going to come in handy, right? Want to put on muscle more than you want to lose body fat? Heavier weight, less reps. Want to lose body weight? Still want weighted movement, but we want more reps. Those are going to be the basics of it. The basics of it. We'll leave it where it's at. All right, so preacher curl machines. They come in a few different varieties. Some are plate loaded, some are block loaded. It just depends on what gym you're going to. But they're all going to have some kind of handle on the front, okay? They're going to have a pad up here, okay? That's why it's called a preacher curl, because it's kind of like we're praying in this position, right? Sometimes you might feel like you want to while doing these. All right, so this machine, the traditional way to do it, we're going to grab our handle, underhand grip here, underhand grip here. There's usually going to be multiple grip positions you can use, but we're going to stick to a traditional for this because this is for beginners. Okay, goal here. We don't need to hit ourselves in the chin every time, right? It doesn't have to be all the way up here. In fact, if we're all the way up here, we're actually going to come and do a problem where we're removing the tension from the bicep at the top, okay? What we don't want to do is we don't want to go over our bicep and remove them from the equation, right? We want to come up until we are at basically maximum tension, right? So right about here, just beyond that 90-degree mark, we'll feel that full bicep tension back down. We don't want to fully extend and slam it down. We're going to yank on our bicep here, yank on those tendons. That's where you've ever seen those videos where the biceps, all of a sudden they go from here to the top of the shoulder because the biceps pop. That's because we're hyperextending very quickly on the bicep, and that tendon isn't ready for that, okay? We don't want to do that. It is a cause of injury. All right, so full rep, just over, and then back down, small bend still here, and then start your next curl. No reason to go beyond this position. Start your next curl, just like that. Start your next curl. Now, let's say this is getting too easy, right? I want a better bicep pump, right? How am I going to do that with the preacher curl? I'm going to show you what I call 21s. So 21s, we have 3 different bicep curls we're going to do, right? So standard grip position, we're going to do 1/3, so a quarter, we'll say a quarter rep, right? 7 small reps down here, right? Just like that. Then after those 7, we're going to do 7 half reps, 7 half reps, and then 7 full reps. And then we're going to go backwards with it, right? So then we're going to go 7 quarters at the top, 7 halves, and then 7 bottom reps.
I can tell you right now, that's not a lot of weight, and I'm already feeling that bicep pump. It's a really, really good bicep workout. It's a good way to get blood flowing to the bicep, to get a lot of work done in a short period of time. You can slow them down. You can slow them down if you would like and get more time under tension. On this right now, not 315 on this. I'm good up to the block, which is about 210, but the block ends at 210. We've done a full block on this before, but that's not what tonight's about. All right. So you can do drop sets. This is meant to be for beginners. Drop sets was something we'll talk about in another, maybe another Sunday where we do something a little bit more intermediate, because drop sets I would consider to be a little bit more intermediate. So we're doing a little bit more there, and it's probably not gonna be comfortable with people that are just getting into the gym. So, all right. We want to work our way up until we feel that our biceps or whatever muscle group we're working, hey Easton, welcome back, is spent, and then we move on to the next thing, at least for the first few months. Snatches I wouldn't qualify as a beginner movement. I will show you guys some ways to do push-ups and progress push-ups though here in a second. I can show you guys that. All right, so another key machine in any gym's arsenal, right? Any gym you walk into is gonna have something that is a form of a chest press. It'll say chest press. It'll say, this is vertical chest press, but it'll say some form of chest press, right? So, a couple key items here. This one does give us a little bit more variety on where we can put our hands, but it's going to be a machine that you're able to push from your chest straight out, right? This one allows us to do incline and decline too, but we're going to stick to the basics. So what we're going to do is make sure our elbows, like we're on a bench press. We want this or the handle of your chest press to be at the base pectoral level, like we're about to do a bench press, right? Hands, we don't want our elbows flared up. We want them nice and down, and we're going to press straight out from the chest, okay? Back down, nice and slow. As soon as it touches, we're going to press straight back out. Just like that, to 90 degrees on the elbow for these. No reason to hyperextend on these and push our shoulders super far back. We're not getting that much more out of it. If you're going to do that, there's other movements or machines we can work on, okay? This machine, we're going to come back to 90. You can just barely break 90 if you're comfortable and press straight back out. All right, same deal. Increase the weight each set as long as we're comfortable getting 5 to 10, okay? As long as we're comfortable getting 5 to 10. Chest presses come in a lot of shapes and sizes, but it's one of the simplest machines to get used to, one of the simplest machines to learn, and it works your triceps, your chest, front of shoulder. It's a really, really good compound movement. Let's see. I do remember you. All right. Can I do all three variants? What low? I'll do it real quick. All right, so chest press standard. If we're gonna go high, we wanna make sure we bring our elbows up ever so slightly further, and we're gonna press front. We should feel it primarily in the shoulder and the upper pectoral here. So it's gonna be just above our pectoral right at shoulder, right? And we're gonna press straight out. We're gonna feel our shoulder blades on this one. They're going to be where we're getting that push through. So you're not going to feel your muscles activating necessarily in the shoulder blade, but there where that tension or that pressure is going to be pressing against the bench. If we're too low, we won't feel that. We'll feel it in our mid-back. If we're high enough, our top of our back will be pressing into the bench. Then on the low end, we want to make sure our low back is nice and situated, and we're going to press straight down. You're going to feel your abdomen trying to push back on you on this one. That's how we know we're low enough, okay? All right, so I'm going to show you guys some progressions for push-ups now. Oh no, I got one more upper body machine. And I want to show this one specifically because there is 2 different ways we can do this, and it's one of the easiest ones to get wrong, okay? So, shoulder press, and then I'm going to show you, I'm going to show beginner push-ups here in a second. I'm going to show how to start pull-ups as a beginner as well. So just stick around. We'll get to those here in a second. And if you scroll back to the beginning of the stream, I showed some very, very beginner movements with dumbbells and some core movements. All right. So we got our block here. Select a weight that's comfortable for you. So all your blocks are loaded usually the same way. So most blocks are pin loaded, right? You're going to have some kind of pin. Make sure you're not half pinning it, because the way these blocks work is there's a little thing in behind the block, right? And this pin locks into that little plate, right? So if we're half pinning, it can come out. We don't want that. That doesn't feel good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna select a weight that's comfortable for us, right? So I'm gonna add our little add-ons. So select a comfortable weight. And then lay back on our machine. Front handle, rear handle, 2 different handles, right? One's gonna work the top of the shoulder, one's gonna work the front of shoulder and the chest. I do the shoulder press with free weights. We do those from time to time, but I'm gonna show this machine real quick. All right, so pressing straight overhead, nice, back down till we hit about chin level, and then press straight back up again. We don't wanna come all the way back down. Keep that tension, just like that. That's gonna work the front of shoulder primarily and the upper chest, okay? A little bit in the top of the shoulder. Like I said, a weight that's comfortable for you, a weight that's comfortable for you. My comfort level happens to be the entire block. So, all right, hands on the handles. This is gonna work more the top of the shoulder, even a little bit in your delts, all right? And the upper chest. Triceps are gonna be working for each of these movements. So, all right. Overhead press, so a lot of people have a tendency to roll their thumb behind their hand because it's comfortable. I choose not to do that. I like to roll my thumb forward, make sure my palm is underneath the grip. If your palm isn't underneath the grip and pressing straight up on your palm, you're gonna be locking your hands backwards. It's gonna put a lot of tension on your wrist. You don't want that. And then we just press it overhead. Just like that, same deal. Back down to chin, press straight back up. As many reps as is comfortable. Okay? Can I also do one with one hand? A full block?
All right, look, I'll give it an attempt just for you. You ready? This is not recommended for anybody. This is gonna be the one thing on this stream. All right. I don't know. Maybe not one-handed full block. It feels like I want it, but I don't know if I can get it. Nah, we ain't getting one hand full block. We'll work on it. Reps to failure is not always the best way. All right. So push-up progression. Push-up progression. So we had someone ask for some absolute beginner tips. So push-ups is something everybody wants to be able to do well, right? They hurt when we first start doing them. They sometimes don't make sense. The position doesn't feel good. It can feel awkward, right? And they're one of those movements that we want everybody to, everybody to learn because we don't want to be that person in the gym that looks awkward doing their push-ups, right? So, hands out front, standard push-up position. I'm going to show that first. It's legs back, glutes down, back straight, down, press straight up, right? Standard push-up. Everybody's seen one, but not everybody can do one, right? And that's okay. So, feet back, knees back. This is going to be a good progression position, right? So our knees are our plant. Then, elbows out front. We're going to bend the elbow. Now, if we're using our knees here, chances are going to the floor is not going to be comfortable, right? So we're still progressing these at this point. We're going to do 3/4 of a rep. We're going to go down till we're about 2 to 3 inches off the floor. Press straight back up, keeping our knees on the ground. The goal here with our knees is to get them as far back as we possibly can, right? Keep our back as straight as we can, right? And bring these down. We don't want our glutes up. I'd rather bring our legs further back, make it easier that way, than make it easier by putting our glutes up. But hey, let's say even that's not comfortable. How else can I progress push-ups? So the other way to progress, I will show dips. All right. So another way we can progress push-ups if we're not comfortable doing push-ups, right, is we can go from a flat body position, lay on the floor, right, or a mat, okay? Arms back here by our pectoral, okay, by our chest, and we're just gonna press our upper body up, right? Press our upper body up until we're up on our kneecap, okay? All the way to the floor, press our upper body up till we're on our kneecap.
That is going to be one of our easiest progressions of a push-up. It's going to help us get to those other push-ups, right? It's about taking away some of the body weight that we're pushing against. I can do archers. All right. So, which bear? A panda. Nice. I like that. Close grip variant. Powerlifter doing push-ups. I'm pretty good at push-ups. All right, I'm going to show off for 2 seconds, guys. I'm going to show off for 2 seconds. We're going to do a couple of different push-up variants for you. So, progression on the push-ups, right? Push-ups are easy, Chris. What can I do to make push-ups harder? We can do a close grip. So, hands nice and close, like a triangle or a diamond position. Elbows out, but try and keep them close to the side and press straight up, right? Keeping our hands nice and close. Chris, diamond push-ups are too easy. What's another progression I can do? Archer push-ups, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to look like an archer doing these with the bow fully drawn. Elbow down and up. Down and up. Just like that, archer push-up. Using one arm at a time to push the weight. The other one is just our supporting hand. Okay? I don't usually do push-ups unless it's at the end of my workouts. Typically, they're at the end of my workouts. All right, so the next progression on push-ups, if you're looking to make them harder, remember we've done a few different ones. We've gone from a laying body, just doing our upper body, to a knee position, flat back, to a full push-up position, and now we've done close grip, we've done archers, right? What's the next progression, Chris? So now, if you're getting to this point, I don't know why you're watching a beginner stream. So, next one we're going to do a clap, and we're going to do a single arm, and then we're going to show you some beginner dips and some beginner pull-ups. Okay, beginner, these are no longer beginner push-up, guys. These are for the show. Okay, one arm, down to the ground, press straight back up, just like that. What we're going to be doing is keeping this hand behind us, feet nice and wide, right? Down, press back up, right? That is going to be one of your toughest variants. All right, toughest variants. All right, and then your clap push-ups. Now I'm going to go back to the other stuff. So, clap push-ups. One clap, double clap, 3 claps. I'm not going to give hints on how to do those ones because those are a little bit tougher, okay? It's all about momentum. Too much. What am I cheating on here? What am I cheating on here? Those are legitimate push-ups. Those push-ups are great. All right, we're going to do pull-ups now. I'm going to get back to the thing at hand. All right, so how to progress pull-ups. How to progress pull-ups. All right, so pull-ups is one of the most difficult movements for most people, right? I would say it is the most difficult movement by general population, right? As far as body weight. Move this bar over way. All right. So, the thing about body weight movements, guys, they are all max pull-ups at once. I could probably get like 30. I'm not doing that right now. Well, I'm going to show you how to progress them. I want to stay on topic a little bit. So, all right. So with pull-ups, the goal is, if we can't get a comfortable pull-up, to reduce the amount of body weight we're working against, right? So you have 2 type of pull-up areas typically, right? You're gonna have one like this in a power rack, or just a pull-up machine on its own. If you have a pull-up machine on its own, I'll show you how to adjust the weights on those, but I'm gonna show you how to do it here first. So, standard pull-up, doesn't matter if you're doing a pull-up or a chin-up, we're gonna have our body weight hanging against us, right? Feet hanging. Pull, straight up over bar. As soon as chin breaks bar, we have completed a pull-up. Back to full extension, right? Completed a pull-up. Back to full extension. Now, we don't want to just drop our body weight. We're going to put a lot of tension on our bicep tendons, a lot of tension on our back that we don't want, right? So, goal here. If I can't do one of those, how do I progress it, right? I'm going to go grab what we need. I'll be right back. All right, we got a couple different options here, right? So I've got these bands. Everybody's seen these bands at one point, right? So we're gonna pick a band, right? Any band, doesn't matter which color band for me specifically, but for you, it's all about the thickness of the band. How much tension is it taking off? So we're gonna look at the width of the band. Wider this band is, typically the stronger it's gonna be, unless it's super thin, right? First thing you're gonna wanna do is check your band for breaks. If your band has breaks in it, or it's starting to fray on the sides, probably don't wanna use that band, right? What we're gonna be doing is we're gonna take our power rack, our safeties, right? We're gonna walk them out, okay? Take our band, we're gonna wrap it around the safety. Take the band, wrap it around the other safety, right? Then we're gonna put our safeties back in place. Right there. I'm not gonna over tension this band just because it's not necessary for the demonstration. Typically you want one that's nice and tense here, okay? You might need to wrap it twice. So we're gonna get back up into our pull-up position. Let me get this forward. Once you have that tense, back up into our pull-up position. Feet are gonna go on top of the band, all right? Depending on how tense the band is how much weight it's gonna take off. You see how much easier these are? I'm using that band as an assist. We don't have to get a full pull-up every time, guys. If you're not comfortable getting a full pull-up, get quarter and half reps. Work on that bottom portion of the pull-up, just getting that bend in the elbow. Then we can start to slowly work on halves, right? And then we can work on full pull-ups, okay? That band is gonna reduce the amount of body weight that we're having to move. If you're trying to get stronger, shorten the sets, less reps, more weight typically. I'd say, show me your anger with the pull-ups. So this is a learning stream today, guys. Learning stream today. Appreciate it. I can get probably about 30 pull-ups, typically about 30 pull-ups before I'm gassed. So. One without momentum, chin above bar. All right, how about I just do this, guys? How about we do some creative pull-ups? Chris, my pull-ups are too easy. I've mastered the standard pull-up. What other pull-ups can we do? All right, after you've mastered your band-assisted pull-up and you've mastered your standard pull-up, then you can start adding creativeness to your pull-ups, right? Tuck my shirt for this one, guys. All right, I'm gonna do it from this side of the bar because I don't wanna hit my head on the other bar while I'm doing these, all right? So, let's prove a point real quick. You can do, of course, nice slow pull-ups, increase the time under tension, or you can have some fun with it. You can do typewriter pull-ups. Going back and forth on the bar. Or maybe those are too easy, right? Maybe we need to do clap pull-ups, right? So, a clap pull-up, we're all about momentum here. So, up, clap, ooh, missed it. I almost hit the band. Hold on, guys, move this band out of the way. That about hurt. Ooh, there we go. So, clap pull-ups are all about momentum. All about momentum. See? We have fun with pull-ups. But only once you've produced a standard pull-up. We missed the first one, we hit the band, it's all good. Whew. All right, let's move on. Bench press progressions. So, we could probably do something like that. Give me a second. That's a little bit more intricate. You can. Working your lats will be a good way to progress your pull-ups. So you can do lat pull-downs. My max bench is 350 pounds. See you later, Easton. That's not how that works, Almonds. That's not how that works, Almonds. All right, dips are next. Dips are next. You'll have to go to my other streams throughout the week, Juds. Today is a rest day. Today is a rest day. We're doing an educational stream. Sundays are my rest. So I bench 6 days a week, Judd. You can go to all my other streams and see my bench presses. I start every stream with bench press. So, all right. But if you want to see the 350 in particular, it's the main channel video. So if you go to my actual channel, it's the first video. It's the front page. All right, I am American, yes. All right, so dips. So dips are a great pushing movement. And work your chest, your triceps, front of shoulder. They're great. They're a great compound movement. All right. So hands on your bars here. So you got your dip bars. Dip bars sometimes are going to be, directly parallel. Sometimes they'll have a slight angle out. I like to come a little bit close with my dips. Now, couple ways you can do dips. You can do them straight leg down, okay? You want to go just below 90, that small shoulder dip, and press, right? But let's say you're not comfortable with that. Let's say you're not comfortable going all the way down with your dip and pressing straight back up, which is completely fair. It is an uncomfortable movement. It doesn't feel good for beginners to do a dip. Those muscles usually aren't developed super well. So, a couple things we can do here, right? So, grab the bar. We're going to go to a straight arm position. We're going to bend the arm to a quarter position, and we're going to pulse this movement. And the reason we're pulsing this movement is because we're going to work on that tricep specifically. This is targeting the tricep, right? Trying to work the back of the arm, build up that beginning of the movement. And then we're going to go we're going to get nice and low on these bars, feet down, and we're going to work explosive movement. We're going to give ourselves a little push with our feet and press it straight up, right? Small push with the feet and press straight up. That's going to give us just enough momentum to start practicing the dip, right? Get those muscle groups used to the movement. Then we can progress to combining those two movements, right? So then after we've worked the top and we've worked on the bottom of the movement, right? We can now combine the two. Down with the tricep, press with the chest and tricep here, front of shoulder, right? Then we can combine the two movements. Couple things people get wrong about dips, right? Dips don't always have to have your legs straight down. They don't always have to break shoulder depth, so your shoulders have to come down super low. It can be good, but it's not necessary to get progression from dips, right? Now, another thing is finding your center of gravity, right? So if we're leaning too far, when we go to a dip, we're going to lean over, put a lot of stress on our shoulder. Leaning too far back, right? Now, our elbows are starting to flare out. We don't want that. We'll cause injury. Want to find that center. Usually our feet straight down is going to be considered center, or we can roll up, right? So bring your feet up, roll forward. You can cross them if you want. Down in that ball position, press straight up. Down in that ball position, press straight up. That is going to be how you progress your dips. Work those quarter range movements, strengthen those areas before we start to combine them and put our full body weight on it. Let's see. We did some dumbbell work towards the beginning of the stream. Let's see. Bench dips are more for beginners. This is a beginner stream. All right. Let's see what else is going on. Boom, boom, boom. You have a branch in dumbbells. So if we're trying to, branch, you can use a branch for pull-ups. It's going to be a little bit trickier. I don't have a branch with me to try to progress on those. So 20 full range dips, that's solid. That's solid. So we did a little bit of shoulder work at the beginning of the stream, and we did some about midway with the shoulder press. We're going to show a couple more progression movements real quick, and then that'll be the stream for the night, okay? Is there any requests on specific movements? Because I've shown basic movements for about the last hour or so. Any requests on any movements that a beginner needs help with? Feel free to request. Otherwise, I'm going to take it on my own and we're going to go show some other movements. Zerker squats. I wouldn't classify Zerker squats as a beginner movement. We'll do an intermediate and an advanced movement block next Sunday and the Sunday after that. Shoulder press. We did shoulder press already for the stream on the machine, and we did dumbbell for the stream already. The beginning was the dumbbell. We did about midway through, we did the other shoulder press. Let's see. If you're stuck at 3 reps on 3 plate weighted dip, I'd start adding 10s or 5s and just work on adding those incremental weights. If those are giving you more trouble, work your 2 plates up to about 7 reps, then revisit your 3 plates. All right, we can do some squats. The thing about squats though, guys, is I don't like to teach beginners squats right away, because squats are a movement that there's a lot of room for error. And even as an intermediate lifter, most people are doing their squats incorrect in some form. I will give some tips on beginner squatting. How about that? Beginner squatting. And then I'll show some basic bench tips. But I'm going to show you guys how to start squatting. This is not going to be your traditional squat. This is going to how to start squatting, okay? Alrighty. Let me grab our bar. So, we did squats earlier in the routine with dumbbells. Those are going to be your base beginner. Dumbbell, front rack. You'd have to go back to the beginning of the stream to see those. Now, let's talk about squats with a bar. So, number 1, if you are new to squatting, you probably shouldn't start with a bar. You should be starting with body weight, dumbbells, a kettlebell, something along those lines. I'm going to grab a kettlebell and show you how to do what's called a goblet squat, and then I'll show you how to do a few of these, okay? So give me 1 second. All right, goblet squats, goblet squats. So what is a goblet squat? We're going to hold our kettlebell or dumbbell like a goblet, right? Just like that. Feet are going to be about shoulder width apart, okay? Keeping our knees from going over our toes, pushing our glutes back behind us like we're trying to sit in a chair, right? We're looking for a chair that's not there. Keep this under chin, keep your shoulders high, push the glutes back, start the squat position. When we hit 90, go just below and press straight back up, right? Hips forward. That's going to be our finish position. Hips back, push the glute back, press up, hips forward. That's our finish position. Same deal, just like that. That is called a goblet squat. Not comfortable adding weight to it yet? Hands in front like you're holding a goblet. No additional weight, same movement. Press back up, hips forward. That's your lock position, right? Chris, I don't feel comfortable going that low. That's okay. All you're gonna do is grab you a bench, right? Grab you a bench. We're gonna work to the bench height. Feet still shoulder width. Work to your bench until your glutes touch. Press straight back up. That way, if we mess up and we get to the bench and we can't stand back up, we can stop, wait a second, and then use that momentum to get us back up. Full sit, lean back, push up. Full sit, lean back, press up, right? That's how you progress those. We did those earlier, but I re-showed them real quick. Today's beginner. We might do some lunges here in a second, but let me grab this bar and show you a couple of those. Yeah, split squats will hurt you. They're good. All right. So, barbell squat. Couple of things people do wrong with the barbell squat. And some of these may be wrong for you and they may not be wrong for someone else. And I'm going to explain what that means in a second. So, hand position. This is personal, right? So, there is wrong hand positions. If you go too far out on the bar and try and re-rack, you're going to squash your fingers. Obviously wrong, right? But you can move them out to do the rep as long as you move them back in. So, what I recommend is finding a position that's comfortable on your hand. I like to go like index finger on the ring on either side because my shoulders are a bit wider. It's more comfortable for me. Keep my elbows nice and tight. Feet, I should find my foot position and then I should walk the bar out, okay? I want to walk the bar out with keeping my shoulders nice and high. The bar itself, hold on. The bar itself, right, don't do that. I'm just moving so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm seating right here on the rear of my shoulder, okay? It's not up on my neck. We don't want the bar on the neck. We want it seated right on our shoulder here, just below that upper ridge of the shoulder, right? For me specifically. But you do not want it seated on your neck. You do not want it seated on your neck, okay? That's where a lot of people mess up. It doesn't feel good, it's uncomfortable. Now, the actual squat. Feet position for Everybody isn't going to be exactly the same. I recommend just outside shoulder width for most beginners, okay? Then we're going to start our squat position. Same way we're doing our goblet. Keep our knees behind our toes. Push our glute back. Keep the shoulders high, okay? Once we get to 90 and then slightly break it, we press straight back up. We don't need our butt to touch the ground, but we do want to get to at least 90 degrees, okay? And press straight back up. But Chris, that's uncomfortable. I don't like doing that. Same rules apply. If you're not comfortable doing that, work quarters until you're comfortable working halves. And then until you're comfortable working halves, then you can start full squats. Not comfortable doing that? Use a bench. You are allowed to use equipment to help you progress to that point, right? So, if you don't have shoulders to rest it on, okay, then you can use a pad if it's extremely uncomfortable, right? There's nothing wrong with that. It is a piece of equipment you can use. It wraps right around the bar and it sits right up on your shoulder. Can I show front squat? I can show front squat. So the difference between front squat and rear squat, and then I'm going to show some bench tips, right? So front squats, racking on the front of the shoulder here, right? Your front of your shoulder here. Elbows up. Elbows up. They're going to support your bar. Hands should be wrapped around the bar here. Keep your elbows nice and high, like you're a genie from Aladdin. All right. Feet. I like to go wider with front squats, but you can go same position if you'd like, but your stability is going to be a little different because you have less bar in your arms, right? You have less shoulder touching the bar. So wider is going to help you with stability here. Keep those glutes pushed back. Keep your shoulders high. Press straight back up. Same rules apply. Quarters if you're not comfortable to halves, then work full squats. Work to your comfort. I recommend spotters for these movements. All right. We're going to move on. We're going to show some bench tips. If you're interested in the super beginner movements, please rewind to the beginning of the stream. We can do deadlift. All right. So, bench tips. So, couple of things with the bench, right? Let me get y'all a better angle here. I don't like where y'all were at. All right, so, boom. So, bench tips. Couple of things people do with the bench that are incorrect, right? And some of them that used to be correct, but have been now, discovered to not be quite always the best, right? So, with our bench, couple key items here. Number one, well, lining up with the bench, our eyeballs should be nice and level with the bar, okay? Nice and level with the bar. We're going to pinch our shoulder blades back. So pinch your shoulder blades back, small arch in the low back. So pull your glutes towards your shoulders a little bit. We don't need to be flat. We want a small arch, not exaggerated, small arch. Hands up to the bar. Make sure the bar is even. Eyeballs level with the bar. Thumb length is usually a good bet to practice with from the inside of this grip, inside of the knurling here, right? So that gritty part of the bar. We're going to push off with the bar and walk it out in one movement. So push off with the bar, walk it out. We want to walk the bar out till we're about where our lower chest is going to be when we come down. We don't want to start immediately dropping the bar. So don't just de-rack and bring it to chest. You're not going to be able to build the tension up that you need to get a good press off of the chest, right? So de-rack, walk it out. Down to the chest, touch it lower pectoral, and then like a spring, we use our lats to get us out of the bottom and finish a rep. Keep the elbows nice and tight by the body. Don't flare your elbows out. You're going to put a lot of tension on your shoulder. Keep your elbows, turn them in. Grip the bar tight and keep your fist straight up and down with a slight bend on the back. We don't want it resting on our wrist like that. We want our forearms pointing straight up. Down to the chest like you're punching the air. Just like that. All our feet should remain flat, and our glutes should touch the bench the whole time. That is the optimal bench press. Optimal bench press. Let's see. If you can't bench the bar, I recommend dumbbells. Dumbbells, or if you have access to them, these are a great option if your gym has them. Body bars. They usually weigh less than the bar, and you can use them as a bench bar. Almost every gym has a body bar, and they usually weigh like 15 to 25 pounds. You don't want to bring your elbows out super wide. You want to keep them close to the body. Close to the body. Let's see. So turning your elbows in will help create tension. Yes, it will. And it also will prevent you from hyperextending that shoulder. Putting your elbows super far out is not ideal. It's not recommended. Elbows in, elbows in. You don't need them against your body, but you want them in about this position here when you come down with the bar. That way you can use that tension from the lats to spring you up. It's like a rubber band. But if you can't bench the bar, right, then we can use dumbbells or we can use body bars if you have access to them. Now, dumbbell, same idea, right? Grab you some dumbbells, lay back on the same bench that you can't bench the bar with, right? And we're going to mimic a bench press with the dumbbell. If you can't bench the bar, grab you some 10, 15, 20-pound dumbbells, right? Bring them down to the low chest and then spring them up. Practice with that first. Practice with that first. Then move back to your bar once it's comfortable. And anytime you're getting rid of a dumbbell, I always say this because I've seen it happen, guys. If you're doing dumbbell work, whether it be flies, press, skull crushers, whatever, we dump our bells forward. Finish a rep. Bells dump forward away from the body, not backwards, not sideways. We finish a rep. Dump them forward. You will save yourself an injury. You will save yourself an injury. Body bar is going to be used if you can't do the bench bar. And then it's just mimicking it just like you would with the dumbbell. So body bars usually look like this. They're either going to be metal, they might have a rubberized or like a foam exterior. Same deal. You might need to hand it to you, and then you press it off the chest. Press it off the chest. Your body bar. It's just a lighter bar. That's all it is. Let's see what else we got going on. So we're not going to get into decline incline right now, just because the setup in here for decline incline is a little bit more intricate. I got to move some stuff around. So we're not going to do that tonight. Those are more intermediate movements. We'll work on those a little bit later. We'll work on those another stream. Any other movement requests? I'll do one more move. Want a deadlift? Someone want a deadlift, right? We'll show deadlift real quick. Let me put some stuff up. Let me make some cleanup real quick, and then we'll do deadlifts. RDL would be considered an intermediate movement for most people. Romanians are definitely an advanced movement, or an intermediate at least. They are not comfortable for most people. Y'all are trying to hurt people. Y'all are trying to hurt people. All right, so deadlift. We'll do some deadlifts. We'll do some deadlifts, all right? I said we would, so we will. I'm going to put a little bit of weight on this bar, and we're going to talk about deadlift mistakes. No handstand, no handstand. Y'all keep coming back about this handstand. It's going to take some time. Deadlift, never deadlift alone. No, I'm going to be all right. If you can have a spotter, that's great, but you can deadlift on your own. You just got to be careful. I would say that squatting is probably your most dangerous movement without a spotter. Squatting, bench. Deadlift is definitely not super safe. Nothing you do in the gym is going to be extraordinarily safe. But deadlift is definitely one of your movements that your margin for error is a lot
lot easier to get over. You know, if you fuck up a deadlift, you might get injured, but you're probably not going to drop a bar on your neck. If you do, that's more than a deadlift. So 500, I'm at about 480 right now. So all right. So we're going to pull this bar off the ground a couple times. So deadlifting, couple things. When should I use a belt? Because I'm not going to use a belt for this first set. Belts can be helpful. You want them wrapped around your abdomen when you are using them, right? It's going to help maintain a tight core. It's going to prevent you from messing up in that, that area, right? So it keeps you tight. It forces you to stay tight to the best of its ability, right? You want them nice and tight, but not so tight you can't breathe. I'm going to do this without it so you guys can get a good visual, okay? So there's a couple different deadlifting positions you can do. For beginners, if you're just starting deadlifts, if this is one of the first times you've started deadlift, you're a beginner deadlifter, you're not a beginner lifter. These are not a beginner lift. But beginner deadlifter, right? Hand position, hands over top the bar. Some people like to mix grip, but as a beginner, let's start hands over the bar, right? Hands over the bar, okay? I'll just scoot this in. So, all we're doing for a deadlift is we're picking a bar up, right? We're picking a bar up and we're putting it back down. I like to mix grip personally, but for someone that's just starting, probably not ideal, right? So, grip your bar close on the knurling, right outside your quad, right? You don't want it super wide out here. Right outside your quad, right outside your leg. So, knees should not go over your toes. You want your knees before your toes, kind of like with your squat. We don't want to be leaned over the bar like this when we're pulling up, right? So, we're going to roll the bar nice and close, okay? We're going to drop our glutes down, push through the sole of our foot, and lift and move our hip forward all in one solid movement. So it'll look something like this. Drop the glute down, press straight through, right? 3, 2, keep an eye on me. 3, 2, drop the glute down, shoulders high, push through the sole of the foot, right? Just like that. For reps, we want to try and maintain that position. Following the track of the leg the whole time, right? Let's see. I'm not sure what's going on there, Ord. This is just 135 right now. We're just doing a educational stream. So it's like you're squatting. So as we're going down, right? Position here, drop the glute. Knees forward, drop the glute. But keep your knees before your toes. Press straight up. But let's say, hey Chris, my deadlifts are too easy. I'm ready to progress. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Not doing that. All right, I'm going to go. Now curl it with one hand. Curl it with one hand. Y'all are asking a lot. I lost y'all. Sorry. Curl it with one hand. That's a little intense. I don't know if I'm curling it with one hand today. I can curl it. We're trying to curl it. Is that what we're looking for? All right, so that was deadlift. Remember, hands on either side, legs right against the forearm there. Drop the glute down, pull through the sole of the foot. Push straight down through the sole. All right, I'm going to go put this bar up real quick. I'll be right back. Let me put some clips on it. It's a lot easier to put the whole bar away than it is just to take the plates off. So we're just going to put the whole bar away. All right. Bar's coming with me. Bar's coming with me. I'll be right back, guys, and we'll talk some more.
I was putting the bar away. I was done with the deadlift. All right, see you later, Ryan. All righty. That is the stream, guys. That is the stream, guys. That was my rest day, by the way. I appreciate all the likes. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll be doing a full workout stream tomorrow where I actually do my workout. Tricep exercise. I could do one. I'll do one tricep exercise. We'll do one tricep exercise. I do admit I didn't do a tricep exercise. Hold on. All right, let's do a tricep exercise. I'm sorry, I did forget. If I said I'd do it, I'll do it. I don't remember if I said I'd do it, but I'm gonna do it anyways. All right, tricep pull downs, right? We're gonna do 2 tricep exercises. And then I gotta go, guys. I gotta get home. Today's my day off. All right, my favorite tricep exercise, rope pull downs. I'm only gonna do a couple of these because it's time for me to get out of here. It's my rest day. It's my rest day. All right. All right, so pick a weight that's comfortable first, okay? Always want to find a weight that's comfortable. Goal here, right? We're gonna pull or push down away from us, keeping the arms nice and tight, right? Slight lean over the rope. Slight lean over the rope. 300. So, working on activating the tricep specifically, but we're going to get a little front of shoulder and chest in here too, just by design. Press straight down. Oop, knocked off my glasses, guys. I apologize. Press straight down. Let it up. And straight back down. We're going to get a nice target on the tricep there. Nice target on the tricep. Just like that. All right, and then a slightly easier movement. Take a dumbbell. We're gonna take it and we're gonna throw it overhead, right? So, put it up on one shoulder here, and then both hands wrapped around it. Dumbbell nice and high overhead. Lower the hands, keep the elbows tight to the head, and then we're gonna press straight overhead. The dumbbell is gonna be a great activator for our triceps. Okay, great activator for our triceps. So you see it? Whew. Great activator for our triceps. But, so that is the stream now. I got the tricep exercise in there. I love tricep pull down, so I threw that in there for you real quick. And then the tricep extensions overhead. Don't forget to subscribe. You'll get notified when the stream launches again tomorrow. We stream every single day about this time of night. So tomorrow, expect a full upper body and some deadlifts. We'll be doing a full workout. I'll be working out completely. So, alrighty. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Thank you for being here. I appreciate all your support. If you want to support even more than you already have by being here and being wonderful, you can do it at the link below at the Buy Me a Coffee. Either way, I appreciate you and have a wonderful day.